Welcome back, guys. Thanks for staying with us. Yeah, I'm excited. I still haven't seen if you won the Bitcoin and you want to be public about it, let us know. I'd love to give you a shout out if you won that Bitcoin that we gave out earlier. We're gonna have a couple more segments and then we'll give out some more for you here. Wanted to, yeah, shout out Austin again, Satobi. I agree with you. Analysis, it could go up, but it could also go down. However, you didn't account for what Bitcoin was doing the last few days, which is moving sideways. Um, Darren Adams, I'm concerned with the general stock market, Evergrande, Fed bond purchase tapering, potential rate hikes, and I don't know what that is. Omicron restrictions. I don't know what that is. Yeah, shout out Darren Adams. Thanks for participating. I'm not concerned with the general stock market at all because I don't hold any stocks. So that's a great place to be. Um, Next we have the Daily Dunk, guys. I wanted to play a short clip from Michael Saylor that I enjoyed. He went to bat hard on gold, calling gold, quote, the worst performing asset of the decade. So without further ado, here's a short clip from Michael Saylor that ought to make your day.
It's not an issue. In fact, the best thing you could do is sell all $10 trillion worth of gold and buy Bitcoin. Gold's a dead rock. It's the worst performing asset the past decade, bar none, no debate, and there's no hope for it.
There you have it, guys. So gold, the worst performing asset of the last decade? I'm not sure. Discuss in the chats. I mean, it seems like a bit of an exaggeration on Sailor's part, but I think it's a necessary exaggeration. Um, Gold is not the best thing to do what it is claimed to do anymore. We have Bitcoin. It's not the greatest store of value anymore. It doesn't appreciate in the way Bitcoin does for now. I understand it's held value for thousands of years. Actually, let's break this down further. Listen, there's two types of accounting, right? There's two ways to make this monetary trade between humans fair and to keep note of the ledger. So we have tokens and we have ledgers. Gold is a token, right? This is a physical realm bounded token. Bitcoin is a ledger, but it's also a digital token. That's 1 point for Bitcoin. Gold has a physical latency. That is, it's going to expend exponentially more energy to move gold, just if you were to pick it up then move it, than it is to transfer Bitcoin. So the value of gold is impaired basically in proportion to the distance it needs to travel. A lot of people don't account for this. They say, well, should the internet go down, what are you going to hold? Well, if the internet all over the world went down, I think you would have more complicated problems on your hands than whether or not gold or Bitcoin was a better store of value. You'd probably be stocking up on something like food, bullets, guns. Maybe gold would fall in there, maybe not. Point is, we're not in that scenario anymore. Internet's working fine. Anyone that wants Bitcoin can get some. So point being, like the problem with gold right now is that its value is impaired again in proportion to the distance it needs to move. There are verifications that need to happen. There are procedures, security and transportation costs, litigation costs. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is completely permissionless and borderless. If your Bitcoin is banned in India tomorrow, might currently be banned in India actually. There's actually nothing stopping you from using Bitcoin anyway. The government, this is just lip service to a ban. They can't do anything to enforce you really using Bitcoin. They can make it very difficult, the on ramps and off ramps to acquiring and transferring Bitcoin, but it's not impossible. If you really want to get it done, you can get it done. People are doing it in China. People are doing it in India. Generally, what happens is actually a black market emerges where these things are banned, and they end up trading for a slightly higher price than they otherwise would, which is funny. So let me catch up here. There's nothing. If the majority of the gold was taken out of the hands of people, oh, I remember. So if if the majority of the gold was taken away from you guys and held by the governments, pause, because that's actually happened. Gold has suffered the unfortunate fate of government capture. Do you understand what that is? Like most of the gold is held by nation states, not by you. You don't own your gold. You're not going to keep your gold in your house like a crazy person. You're not going to store it in a vault and protect it with guns. I mean, there are definitely people that do this, but that is not the norm, and that is it's a strange and risky proposition, I would say, because you're always at risk of theft. So you outsource this security. It's very expensive. That ties back into my impairment argument. Your gold, the cost of maintaining it is far too high. The cost of maintaining my Bitcoin is in some ways maintained by the network itself, but it's zero. I keep it on a cold storage, and I don't pay anything to hold my Bitcoin. So does gold have value? Depends on who you are, right? Value is subjective. So yes, gold was used to store value for thousands of years successfully, for sure. Bitcoin has rendered like these functions obsolete. Bitcoin is sounder money. There's a limited supply. To be honest, gold is not limited in supply. Gold scarcity is a function of how many resources we allocate to mining it. That's it. Gold will be mined for its conductive and ornamental property perceived value until there's none left anywhere in the universe. So that's right. There are plenty of people who would like to one day mine gold on other planets or even asteroids. So outside of this, I mean, gold's been effectively made in labs before. My point being, it's not scarce. It's incredibly inefficient and expensive to make fake gold or to mine new gold. But again, if you allocate the resources to it, it can be done. With Bitcoin, as long as its current definitions hold, everyone agrees. Like the incentives are aligned such that there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. So to be clear, gold's market cap for the time might be more than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's market cap's around 917 billion, closer to a trillion. I'm not sure what the price is at the moment. Whereas that of gold is around 11.3 trillion, right? So we're about, what is that, like 8%? But this is because most of the world doesn't understand Bitcoin. Adoption is spreading. Bitcoin's market cap on larger time horizons like only grows. So you guys already know this. Bitcoin is sounder, faster, more ethical to mine. It's deflationary. It's scarce. It's the most appreciating asset in recorded human history. Gold is a shiny rock that is a great conductor of electricity. And to be fair, it doesn't corrode, right? So at one point in history, it was useful to sort of transfer value and build capital and transition society into the Bitcoin era. And we are in the era of Bitcoin, and that flippening will occur. But it's going to lose its value, guys. The supply is very carefully controlled of gold. The resources are allocated to mining it and inflated and deflated in order not to crash the whole thing by the biggest companies that are pursuing it. So although it doesn't corrode and it's a great conductor of electricity, um, those are about the only use cases, the only lasting use cases into the future of gold, as far as I'm aware. I mean, please let me know in the comments if there are more use cases for gold that you cannot see. Or that I didn't mention. Let me check. The limit does not exist for the amount of gold in the world. Yeah, it's unlimited. We don't know how much there is. Guys, we've only mined overall, and this isn't the gold we found, but 0.0001% of the Earth's surface or something. We've literally barely scratched the surface of the Earth and exhausted countless resources, destroyed ecosystems to go after this shiny rock. And we don't know how much more of it there is. It's an element. It can be manufactured on some level eventually. So if you disagree with me, please comment. What am I missing? Am I wrong here? Bitcoin is going to flip in gold. It may only be 8.5 or so percent of gold's market cap right now, but it's going to happen. You can't insulate yourself from hard money, guys. If you store your family's fortune and wealth in gold, you're going to go effectively bankrupt over the coming years because gold is trending to zero in terms of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the only verifiably scarce decentralized asset on the planet that is not subject to governance and is actually immune uh, to government capture. It's incorruptible. Thus, every other asset will trend to zero in terms of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the most thermodynamically sound money in the universe. That's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think.